Okay, greetings students. This is the Pilates Fundamentals class A, class letter A. So in the fundamentals class letter A, be sure you've already done the pre-Pilates class before you do this class because it progresses. And we're going to start today with a standing warm-up. So if you'll come to stand, be sure you already have your mat and your props all prepared. And we're going to bring our feet parallel with a fist distance. Remember, we talked about this last time. A fist between your inside ankle bones. And your feet are truly parallel, not turned out. And you're going to lift and lengthen so that you're in a neutral pelvis. Remember, we talked and I showed on the skeleton. You want the two front points of your pelvis in line with your pubic bones to form that triangle that helps your pelvis be in a neutral or normal position. And that means that, yes, you have a natural curve at your back waist, but we're not exaggerating it. And we're also not tucking and flattening it. So make sure you're in that good neutral. Then lift your side waist a little bit. So you don't want to sit your ribs on your hips. You want to lengthen your side body so that we have the obliques kicking in to support your posture. Wide collarbone across the front chest and shoulders lined up directly over your pelvis. And then your earlobe is directly over your center shoulder so that your head's in line with your spine. And then you want to engage your abdominals. Now remember, we use some images of the saran wrapping across your low belly, right where the pelvis is, or a saran wrap or cinching up a tight, wide seat belt. Or just whatever image helps you. Like I sometimes think of the skin of a drum is very taut and it's stretched across the drum. So there's that idea. You want to think of that nice braced lower abdominal area. And then your side obliques lifting here just to keep your ribs from sitting on your pelvis. And then a wide collarbone. And then be sure to get good and lined up. Now imagine you're against a wall with your back sacral area. That's that bony fused part of your sacrum, your upper mid back, and the back of your head. And you're in this nice straight line through the side body. All right, we don't want to be, rounded or shifted. Then we're going to do a couple of deep breaths. Inhale, arms out and up. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth to bring the arms down. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Now bring the arms straight down with the palms facing back. And I want a pretty straight arm here with some energy in the arms. Now we're going to take the feet all the way together. Close up the inside borders of your feet and think of your inner legs zipping up a little bit more. Now we're going to do that little bend of the knees so we keep our heels on the floor. And we're going to slide our spine down an imaginary wall that we're up against. And then you slide up the wall to straighten your legs. So I'm not, when I bend the knees, I'm not squatting. Then I'd put a hole in my wall, right? And I'm not tucking. So I want to go right down the wall, right up the wall. Right down the wall, right up. Don't bend too far. You want to keep your knees together. Keep your heels on the floor. Now, with those strong arms, we're going to reach to shoulder height, press through thick mud. So think like you're pushing through water or mud. So there's a real engaging of the lat muscle to press the arm down. So think of this upper mid back. It takes a while to learn to visualize and kick on certain muscles, but start to think about it. All right, so we inhale, slide down the wall. Exhale, press to straighten. Inhale, knees together, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now keep your heels together and take your toes on a little diagonal. And this is the Pilates V, letter V. So it's a shallow diagonal. You don't want to be super turned out. Remember, it's a little military stance almost. So you zip up your inner legs. Now you feel your rotators kicking in. There's a little tautness here, a little firmness, but I'm not gripping my butt and tucking. We still want that neutral pelvis. And then the knees will bend over the second toe as you slide down your wall, keeping the front and back nice and sandwiched like they were sliding down the wall. And then the arms are going to go side. Inhale, straight arm, press from your underneath armpit, thinking of the upper mid back, initiating right under the arm and slightly behind it. Inhale, that's your latissimus dorsi muscle. Inhale, exhale, squeeze the legs as you straighten. A little bit of activity in those leg muscles. And last one. Now turn the palms to face back. Keep your legs zipped up. Keep your abdominals combing up toward the front here. And then you're going to do a small forward and back pumping in about a 4-inch range. With that, inhale for 5 pumps and exhale for 5 pumps. Here we go. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now reach the arms side again. Turn the palms up. Then reach up as you stretch the legs. Now interlace your fingers and place the hands behind the occipital bones like we did before. They're on the back part of the skull, and your elbows are on a side diagonal. Maintain your neutral, zipped up, and you're still in your V. And we're going to do those shoulder shrugs. You shrug the shoulders up. You use the muscles of your back to slide the shoulder blades down your back ribs. Then press the elbows slightly back without letting your ribs pop. And then release forward. Shrug up, inhale. Glide down, exhale. Press the elbows back a little bit just to stretch through the chest and release. Shrug, inhale. Glide down, exhale. Just gently press. Release and arms down. Let's now come to a seated position. I like to use sitting pads in our seated position as we talked about last time. So you can use a bolster, a little phone book, old-timey phone book, or some stacked books that you wrap a towel around or that you rubber band together, just something to give you a little bit of a lift, and always have that ready ahead each time. Okay, so now we're going to come to your seated position on your little bolster or your stacked books. And let's do some seated warm-up here. So we're going to first start by rocking to find your sitting bones. Right underneath your pelvis are those little bony tuberosities. If you rock a little, you'll kind of feel them, especially if you're on a firm book or something. And then you get right on top of those. Once you're on top of them, you elongate the side waist like we did standing. You lift the front abdominals, and don't forget, lift your back pant waist, because we do not want to be like this slumped back. We want to get on the sit bones and then lift the back waist and the front body, and then widen the collarbone so that you have earlobe over shoulder, shoulder over pelvis, just like when we stand. The alignment is the same. All right, now, from here, we're going to do a roll down, which we call spine stretch prep. And so what I'm going to do is demonstrate it from the side. We're going to take the arms straight, rest them on the front legs here, and lift up into that neutral. Now you start from the top of the head and kind of like a candy cane hooking over. You're going to curl up and over and roll forward, but you're not going to rock back when you roll forward. So keep your pelvis stationary against the imaginary wall. So only from above the waist are we moving. We start from the top of the head, nod. Then I'm going up and over like I'm coming over a little ball in front of me. And as I do that, my fingertips find the floor. And then I only go as far as I can go without lifting my sitting bones or hunching my shoulders. I keep that nice C curve. Then I roll up against my imaginary wall, making sure I don't go behind myself. I go up the wall, and I restack everything, head coming up last. Inhale, up over curve. Exhale, roll forward. Feel like you're not laying on your legs at all. I'm not laying on my legs. I'm coming up and over to curve forward. So I don't want to just lay on my legs. Then you scoop your low belly, start rolling up bone by bone. Your head is the last thing to return at the top. One more time. Inhale, up and over curve. Roll down. Keep your navel to your spine. Inhale, exhale to roll up, and return. Now we're going to do that same thing to a slight diagonal. Angle to your right diagonal, facing that little bit of a diagonal towards your knee. Your hands will straddle your knee. but now your pelvis just stays. It's just your upper body doing a slight rotation. You're going to do that up over candy cane hook. Keep your sit bones attached to your pad as you roll forward on the diagonal, reaching your arms on that diagonal. The opposite sit bone should not rock up. You want to keep it anchored, and you'll feel also that you check your shoulders stay down and not hunch. Then you scoop your low belly to start rolling up. Never go so far on the diagonal that you can't control and come back up centered. All right, then angle to the left diagonal. Up and over candy cane hook. Roll forward as you keep the opposite sit bone anchored. Inhale, navel to the back waist as you roll up and bring it to center. One more time. Inhale to the right. Nod, open over, curve. Exhale. Inhale. Roll it back up. Exhale. Inhale to the left. Nod, up and over, curve. Exhale. Keep your sit bones anchored on your pad. Inhale. Exhale. Roll back up. Fingertips to the side. Nice stretch and lift your side waist. Now we're going to do a lateral bend. Your left arm comes up, inhale vertically. You lift out of your waist, you arc up and over to the side, remembering to keep your sit bones anchored. Careful your bottom shoulder doesn't hunch, and you do get a nice side body stretch. No twisting here yet. We're just keeping it directly side. Notice my head is in line with my spinal curve. I don't want to leave it behind or let it go too far over. I want it in line with my curve, and then lift by initiating from your bottom waist to start you coming up. That's your obliques working to initiate the return. Inhale vertical, lift out of your waist to arc directly side. Careful you don't lean forward or back. Check your position and your shoulders. Lift from your bottom waist and return. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, exhale, reach. Hold, inhale, exhale, center. Reach, inhale, exhale, over. Hold, inhale, lift from the bottom waist, and exhale. Now bring the soles, I'm going to turn. Bring your soles of your feet together, a little bit in front of you and away, so you can grab your shins and help yourself to sit tall on your sit bones in your neutral against your wall. If you bring them in too close, it probably will make you curve your back and rock back. So have them out just a little, and then grab your shins and get in that neutral against your wall, and we're going to do our C curve. So we're going to inhale tall, start from your low belly and your tailbone curling, but hollow out your front belly, not bulging, but scooping through there, and then curve your spine. Notice from my head to my tailbone, I'm making that C curve. I'm not going too far back. Then I rock onto my sitting bone and lengthen back to neutral. Inhale, just the C curve up and back. And it's a high open capital C, not a compressed lowercase c. So you want to go up and back, not down and back. Yeah? One more time. Scoop and C curve. And rock to center. Now we add on. Scoop and C curve. Keep the curve and round forward into that, well, it's kind of what we just did a minute ago, in that C curve over, which we're calling spine stretch prep. Then lengthen from your tailbone to the top of your head, coming to a high, flat back diagonal. So you're in this nice slant, but you're in neutral on a slant. You'll feel that stretch in your inner legs, and then come center. Repeat that. It's like a wave. Scoop and curve out your front body. Round forward in your spine stretch prep. Lengthen to your flat back diagonal, head in line with your spine. Remember, your head's just another vertebra. It should go with your spine. And back to center. One more time. Scoop and C curve. Round forward. Lengthen out to the diagonal. And center. Good. Okay, and now we're going to go back to your cross-legged position on your sitting bones and sit tall. And we're going to take hand to elbow, and we're not resting on the body, but we're not up high at the shoulders. We're just below shoulders, where the arms are across from the base of your breastbone, which we're calling the solar plexus, okay? That's that soft part right at the bottom of your breastplate, right here, or breastbone. And that's where your arms are lined up, so they're a little below your shoulders, but they're not resting on your torso. Now we're going to lift out of our waist in that neutral spine, and just from above the waist, we do spine twist. You rotate on your axis to look to your right on the diagonal and back to center. It's not a big movement. You're only rotating as far as you do not move anything below the waist, and back to center. Grow taller as you inhale to twist and exhale to center. Spiral upward as you rotate to twist to the left and back to center. One more time. Rotate, inhale, back to center. Spiral upward and twist to the left. Inhale and back to center. Good job. Okay, now we're going to come off our sitting pads. Move your sit pads out of the way. We're going to go down onto our backs into our neutral spine for some work. And we're going to need that spacer that we're going to put between the legs. Have that right next to you. And in a minute, we're going to use our head support, but not yet. So I want you to have it folded and right next to where your head's going to be, so that when I tell you to slip it in under the back of the skull, we never put it under the neck, the back of the head, then it's already there. You don't have to stop and get up to get it. So have that there, have your little spacer, and I'll be using your folded towel, our hand towel folded lengthwise twice, because we're going to be using that in a minute for some of our other stuff that we're going to do. So make sure you have all that ready to go. All right, so let's roll down on your side and onto your back. Bend your knees. Come to your position in neutral, lying down. You want your knees bent with your feet about a fist apart. Put your spacer between your inner legs right about where the knees are, and then check you're in your neutral pelvis. So that means you have to consciously think about, is my pubic bone in line with my two front points of my pelvic bones, and forming that triangle that is level, parallel to the ceiling or the floor, and not in a tuck. So I'm not tucking. And I have an itty bitty space under my waist when I'm in neutral, remember? But it's very small. It's like a very smashed mouse house. And you can get your hand under there if you work at it, but it's not real visible because we have muscle and tissue and stuff under there. But your bones of your back waist are not pushed into the mat, and you're not pushing your pubic bone up, and you're not curling your tailbone up. Your tailbone is lengthening toward the direction of your feet. Your pubic bone is stretching away from your navel, and your pelvis is like a bowl of water that's level on the mat. And then we're going to go in and out of neutral by doing our pelvic tilts. And it's like that little scorpion tail. The tailbone curls a little off the mat towards you. Your belly scoops and hollows. The water in the bowl sloshes towards you. And then you level the bowl out by lengthening your scorpion tail back down toward the mat. And you don't over push down on it. You just lengthen it toward the direction of your feet. And then at that point, you should feel like those three bones are level again, or the water in the bowl is level. So those are just some images to help you think about and focus on the positioning that we're going in and out of. So we're starting in our neutral. We have a little squeeze on the towel so it doesn't fall. We have the tailbone lengthening. We have a nice flat braced abdominals like the skin of a drum, saran wrapped across. Our back ribs are on the mat, just hanging into the mat. Our solar plexus is soft. We don't want to push up in the ribs. And then we have that nice flat belly, and then the tailbone just relaxed down. All right, arms alongside, the back of your head on the mat, nothing under your head yet except your mat. And we're just going to do a hollow of the belly to initiate. So I think of that scooping in toward the floor and under the ribs. And that curls my tailbone like that little scorpion tail. The water scoops and sloshes toward me. And then I roll the tailbone down as I lengthen the pubic bone away from the waist. All right, scoop and tilt, exhale, roll to neutral, inhale. It's a very small movement. Scoop and curl. I'm not gripping my butt yet or my hamstrings. I'm mainly just using those low abdominals to flatten and scoop, to initiate and get just that little bit of movement. It's very small. And release. And scoop and curl. And return to neutral. Now we're going to bridge. So now we will start kicking in the glutes and hamstrings as we start to roll off the mat. So inhale, prepare. Hollow the belly first and scoop into your tilt. Then continue curling to roll the pelvis up. So we're not lifting the pelvis, we're rolling up the spine. just to about the shoulder blades. Don't push too high on your neck. And now, yes, you're working these muscles back here, your glutes and your hamstrings. Do not let your spacer fall from between your knees. Now we have that straight line from the knees to the shoulders, and this is called bridge. Then we roll down. You don't just plop down. You sink your upper chest first like it's sinking away from the ceiling, like you had a heavy sandbag on your chest, sinking it, and then you try to roll one bone at a time through the spine sequentially, each bone making contact with the floor, especially your back waist, and then roll at the finish to your neutral and return to that level pelvis each time. All right, inhale, prepare, pelvic curl. Roll up the spine to the bridge. Inhale at the top, heavy chest. Roll smoothly bone by bone into the mat and try to roll without wobbling side to side, okay? Inhale, hollow. Exhale, roll it up. Feel that stretch at the top. Inhale, heavy chest, sinking and rolling through each bone of the spine. And feel the waist make contact and then unravel that tailbone down. One more time. Inhale, scoop and curl. Roll up to that bridge. Pause at the top. Inhale, heavy chest. Roll down vertebra by vertebra. That's the little bones of your spine, and roll down to neutral. Once you're in neutral, stay there and slip that little head support in. You want to put your folded towel right under the back of the skull. Your neck should be free to float in space, so the towel's not under the neck itself. It's under the back of the head. That little bit of lift will give you a little better alignment sometimes, so your shoulders can just relax down. Now, keeping that neutral pelvis, absolutely do not tuck or move your pelvis. We're going to go into ab curls, also referred to as chest lift. The only thing moving is the upper body. Nothing is moving below the waist. So this whole lower area where the pelvis is does not rock or tilt. It stays level in its neutral position, tailbone lengthening, 3 bony landmarks, level, water in the bowl level, no rock, no tilt, no wobble. And the upper chest area and head and so forth is going to curl forward, but this lower half should not react to that curl by tucking or moving. So interlace your fingers, heels of the hands behind the bony parts of the back of the skull, elbows side diagonal, and then we're going to check we're in that neutral pelvis and tighten across those abdominal muscles in the front lower belly, like that seat belting or saran wrapping. Keep that bracing feeling. Nothing moving below the waist. You nod the chin, look slightly forward, inhale. Sink and slide your breastbone away from your chin as you curl the chest forward, looking at your legs. Do not look at the ceiling. Check. Did you tuck? If you see your pubic bone higher than your navel, you tucked. So draw the tailbone in the direction of your heels and lengthen the pubic bone away from the waist. And you should not see any gripping in your butt or feeling any gripping in your butt muscles at all. And then lower the chest back down. Inhale, nod the chin, sink the breastbone to curl the chest forward. Do not pull your elbows forward. Keep your elbows side diagonal. Hold, check your position. Inhale, tailbone down, and lower the chest. Exhale. Inhale, nod the chin, sink the breastbone to curl the chest forward. Hold at the top. Inhale. Smoothly lower down. Don't just plop down. Lower down with control. Inhale, nod the chin. Sink and slide the breastbone away from the chin to curl forward. Stay. Now keeping that tailbone anchored, reach forward. Grab on with your hands at your back legs. Use your hands to help you just lift a ½ inch higher. That's all, just a ½ inch. Check. Did you tuck? If you did, put that tailbone down. No tuck. Stay at that height looking forward. Hands behind the head. Stay at that height. Take an inhale and lower the chest. Exhale. Again, inhale, nod the chin. Sink the breastbone to curl the chest forward. Look at your legs. Reach forward, grab on. Inhale, lift a little ½ inch. Exhale, do not tuck. Stay at that height, hands behind. Inhale and lower the chest. Exhale. One more time, a little different. Inhale, nod. Sink the chest, curl forward, hold. Reach forward, grab on, lift that ½ inch, stay. No tuck.
Hands behind. This time hold for 5 counts. Breathing 1. Holding 2. Exhale 3. Keep breathing. 4. Holding 5. And lower the chest down. Good job. Now we do ab curl with rotation. We're going to do our ab curl center and then stay in ab curl to rotate to that slight diagonal. We did this last time. And we're not doing a rocking side to side. We're just twisting the upper body, pivoting it just to the diagonal and center. And so we don't want to let the pelvis move, and we're not trying to get the elbow to the mat. So hands behind again like we were. Remember, no tuck, no pelvic movement. First we ab curl. Inhale, nod. Sink the breastbone to curl and stay. Now keep your ab curl and just pivot to your right diagonal. Exhale. Back to center. Pivot to the left diagonal. Exhale. Back to center and lower the chest down. Inhale, nod the chin, sink the breastbone to curl. Stay. This time go to your left first. Twist to the left diagonal. Center. Twist to the right diagonal. Center. And lower the chest down. Remember, you're not moving anything below the waist. Inhale, nod. Sink the breastbone, curl, look forward. Exhale, tailbone down. Stay. Twist or pivot right. And center. Pivot left. And center. Lower down. Inhale, nod, sink and lift. Tailbone anchored. Twist to the left. And center. Twist to the right. And center. Lower down. Now keep your right hand behind your head. Left arm reaches forward towards your left knee. We're doing a basic ab curl forward. Inhale, nod, chest lift forward and reach. Now bring the hand down alongside the hip line of the left side. And then you're just going to keep that chest lift and rotate slightly that direction and pulse for 4. Real small and controlled. 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Switch hands. Hand to the opposite knee. Now first you just ab curl center. Don't twist yet. Inhale, nod, ab curl to center. Check your neutral pelvis. Now you're going to angle to the right diagonal and lower that hand to the hip line and pulse 4 times. 1, reaching with the hand. 2, 3. Don't move the pelvis. 4, and lower down, releasing your hands. Okay, good. You should have felt that a little bit. All right. Next, we're going to be taking that little folded towel into your hands. And you're going to take it taut, so it's nice and stretched taut. Don't let it be limp. And hold it above your solar plexus. Again, the base of the breastbone. So it's not over your shoulders. It's a little forward of your shoulders. Now your arms are straight. Check your wrist is straight. No flex or break in the wrist. Squeeze on your little spacer. Check your tailbone down. Always your abdominals are active. You never turn them off. They're always braced like that trampoline or skin of a drum. And then keeping all your back ribs on the mat. Don't let your back lowest ribs pop up. You're going to reach back with straight arms just to hover above the floor. Don't touch the floor. And you want to keep all your back ribs, including your lowest back ribs, on the mat. Then come back up over that solar plexus and pause. Inhale to reach. Exhale to straight up. Keep a little tautness on that towel. Inhale to reach back. Keep your back ribs down on the mat. Exhale up. And we're going to add on to the next one. Inhale. Then as you go forward, you let it pass the face as you nod the chin. Then you ab curl your upper body forward as you reach the towel toward your top knees. Now check. Did you tuck? Oops. Fix it. Tailbone down. No tuck. And lower down. Reach back. We call this rib cage arms. You're reaching back, but all your back ribs stay down. And then you take it up, nod the chin. As you go forward with your hands, you ab curl, nod, and lift. Check. You didn't tuck. Lengthen the tailbone towards your feet. Hold, inhale, and lower, exhale. One more time. Reach back, inhale. Arms up, nod the chin. Exhale to sink the chest to ab curl forward. Reach, squeeze on your little spacer. Check your tailbone down, no tuck. And lower and bend your arms. Place that back down. And now we're going to remove our little spacer to the side and bring your knees and feet all the way together. Bring them in close to you, lifting your heels. So the balls of your feet are on the mat with your heels up, your knees and feet together, tightly together, and your tailbone is still down. So don't let the feet coming in close cause you to tuck. You want the tailbone anchored. Now take your arms and open them side and put them on the floor in a T shape, like the letter T. So your arms make the top of the T. Now check that your arms are not above you, but they're a little below your shoulders. Below meaning towards your legs below, not above your shoulders towards your head. So that you don't want them to lift your shoulders. So you want the arms out to the side on the floor to help anchor your shoulders, but don't have them too high. Now, I don't have a floor under my whole arm, but you should. Now, here, you're just keeping the arms there, and the whole object of this exercise is we're moving the lower body. We do not want to move this upper shoulder girdle area. So that means your back shoulder blades are going to stay on the mat, meaning I'm going to take my knees to one side with my pelvis. So my pelvis and legs will move as a unit, tipping to one side. As I go to the right with my lower body, my opposite left shoulder blade stays on the mat. I don't want to go so far that I touch the floor with my legs because I want to keep my feet and legs and knees together. And I want to keep my shoulder down. And I don't want to arch my low back. So see, I'm just going to a diagonal side. And then I use my low abdominals to initiate to bring me back to center. I just do a little bracing to bring it back to center, keeping the heels up. Now, yes, one foot has to come off the mat to stay with the other foot. And the knees should not slide apart. They should stay together. Now, you go to the other side. So your legs and pelvis as a unit tip to the left as you keep the opposite right shoulder down and do not arch your back. And then squeeze your low belly to bring it back to center smoothly and fluidly. We do not use any quick or jerky moves. All right, we're going to inhale to go to the right and tip over. Inhale. Keep your opposite left shoulder down and squeeze your low belly to exhale and bring it back to center. Tip your pelvis and legs as a unit to the left. Keep your right shoulder down. Inhale. And use your abdominals, exhale, to bring it back. So think of your navel pressing towards your back waist as you try to bring it back without tucking or arching. Keep it neutral. Inhale to the right, legs and feet together, opposite left back shoulder down and shoulder blade down and bring it center. Exhaling. Inhale to the left, keeping your right shoulder down in opposition. Squeeze the navel to the waist as you bring it back to center. Again, over to the right. These are called knee sways, or the official name is spine twist supine, but I like to just in class call it knee sways for a quick layman's term. Inhale over, spine twist, and exhale to center. Let's do two more. Inhale to the right, keep your opposite left shoulder anchored. Squeeze the navel to the back waist without tucking, bring it center. Tailbone anchors at the center point. Inhale over, or the sacrum anchors, and exhale to center. Now place your heels down and move your feet a little bit away from you again. Reach the arms up, cross hand over hand to make a little hand hold. Then we're going to do an ab curl, and as you do, you'll reach your hands towards your top knees. Be careful not to tuck again. You want that neutral pelvis throughout. Inhale, nod, sink the chest, curl forward. Look at your legs as you reach the hands towards your knees. Now, where this is called the hula, we go the hands outside the outside right knee, straight across outside the left. Do not lower down in between. Exhale right, exhale left. Only the upper body moving. Do not move your lower half. Everything below the waist is quiet. Knees stay together. Nothing moving there. And only your upper body doing this very small side to side. Be careful. Don't let your head fall back. Keep looking towards your legs, not the ceiling. Last two and one. Take it center and lower down and arms down and roll your head side to side. Just release any tension there. All right. Now we're going to do some leg levitations, we call this. We're going to keep our feet a little bit away from us with the legs bent together and arms down and tailbone down and neutral pelvis. So you have that neutral level bowl of water. and your abdominals are braced like the seat belting or saran wrapping. Keep that as your focus. You do not want to rock, tuck, or move your pelvis at all. The only thing moving is one leg at a time. You're going to lift one leg to a tabletop 90-90 and then lower it slowly, putting it on the mat carefully next to the other foot with the legs together. Then you lift the other leg to that perfect 90-90. What I mean by that, pause, is that your leg is at an angle right over your crease of your hip socket here, with your shin parallel to the ceiling. So you have a right angle in the knee and a right angle at the hip. Your foot's in line with your knee. It's not dropping. It's the part your shin's making the tabletop, and your knee's at a right angle. Now, let me do it wrong. If you bring the knee close to you, that's not the right angle I want. And also it tucks your tailbone up a little bit, right? So now we're not neutral anymore. So we want to stop the leg when it gets to just over the crease so that you don't curl the tailbone. And we have that shin parallel to the ceiling, right? And then when you put it down, it's like you're going to put your foot on a pool of water that you don't want to ripple. So you're putting it down carefully. You're not just plopping your foot down. All right, so this is very controlled, fluid movement. So I like to imagine I'm moving my legs inside underwater. It's hard to move fast underwater. You have that resistance of the water. So that's your image. All right, so braced abdominals, relax your back ribs, knees and feet together, and feet a little bit away from you. Don't bring them right under your knees. You want them a little bit out. Now, arms alongside, and slowly float your right leg to tabletop 90. Inhale. Slowly put it down with no movement in the pelvic area or the trunk. Exhale, legs together. Float your left leg up. Inhale, tabletop 90-90. And slowly put it on the pool of water. Exhale. Do that again. Right leg, inhale. Lower, exhale. This time, left leg, inhale, stay. Now, keep it there and lift your right to join. And yes, your abdominals kick in even more, but don't tuck or move your pelvis. Now, bring your legs together in that perfect tabletop. Keeping your pelvis anchored in that neutral, all your back ribs down. Keep the right angle in the knee as you dip your right toe and like you're going to touch the pool of water and bring it back to the other leg. Dip your left toe without changing the angle in the knee. So I'm not making my knee bend more or less. I'm keeping the right angle and moving the whole leg from the hip. So I'm not moving from my foot. All right, I'm going to say that again. I'm not moving from my foot. I'm moving from my thigh to go out and down, keeping that right angle in the knee. That means you have to use your abdominals more. If you dip with just your toe, then you're just working you're not doing anything really. You're not working from your abdominals. All right, and so these are called leg levitations and toe dips. All right, now put your right foot down on the pool of water, your left to follow. You should have felt that in your abdominal area. Okay, now do a little pelvic curl just to release your low back. You hollow out and scoop, flatten your back, roll it back down. Do that again, scoop and curl, flatten the low back, and roll it back down. All right, now we're going to reach the arms alongside, and let's put our spacer back between our inner legs at about the knees. Feet apart about a fist, and we're going to do our 100 prep. So we're going to be ab curling, but reaching the arms about an inch or two off the mat as we ab curl, and then you're going to be pumping the arms up and down in about a 4-inch range, and you're going to inhale for 5 pumps and exhale for 5 pumps as you maintain your ab curl position. So watch it once. I'll cue you into the ab curl. Check your tailbone down, and then I'll have you pump and we'll breathe, and I'll cue the breath as we're pumping. We're just, see how I'm not moving my body. I'm only using the arms nice and straight. I'm not flopping my wrist or bending my elbows. I'm keeping it very straight, and the wrist straight and the fingers extended. And then I'm trying not to look at the ceiling, then my head falls back. And I'm trying not to lower my chest. I'm trying to stay in my good, perfect ab curl. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now we're only going to do a set of 50 instead of the 100. So we're going to do inhale for 5, exhale for 5 for 5 sets, which would be 50 pumps and breaths. You maintain your ab curl. Now, if you find yourself fatiguing in your neck and you start to look up and drop your head back, nope. Remember from what I said last time? If you start to let your head fall back, you've got to stop or put your head down at least. So you can put your head down and continue pumping and breathing and then lift again when you're ready, but do not work in a compromised position. You're not helping yourself. You're making it worse. So in other words, if I start here and I find myself dropping down and looking up like this, no, put it down and just pump and breathe with your head down. Okay? Here we go, prepare. Everybody with me? Inhale, nod the chin, sink the breastbone and reach the arms as you ab curl. Look at your legs and pump with your tailbone down. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale through the mouth, 4, 5. Nose. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale through the nose, 4, 5. Exhale through the mouth, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 40. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 50. Lower everything down. Roll your head side to side. All right, we're going to repeat that one more time, a set of 50. That will equal our 100. And this is a regular Pilates exercise called the 100. All right, and eventually we will be doing it without stopping in between. All right, neutral pelvis, that's the focus. If you tuck while you're doing the 100, you're not doing the 100 anymore. You're doing something else. We don't tuck when we do the 100. We stay in neutral pelvis. All right, here we go. Neutral pelvis, brace the abdominals. Inhale, nod. Sink to curl forward and reach the arms and pump. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 20. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 30. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 40. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 50. Lower all the way down. All right. Now you're going to remove that little spacer and we're going to do an exercise called leg circles. I like to use the TheraBand when I teach this one. If you have a TheraBand, use it. If you don't have the TheraBand, you can try a long bath or beach size towel, folded and twisted like I said to do for your stretches and stuff like that too. If you have the band, use it. We're going to roll on your side and onto your back again. You can use your head support again under the back of the skull. Go into your neutral spine and pelvis. Find that positioning. Take the center of the band and now carefully lift your right leg and hook the band over the sole of the right foot. Make sure it's over the arch, not the ball of the foot, or it could pop off and pop you in the face. So over the sole of the foot around the arch area. Then grab a little bit choked up on actually, no, we're not going to choke up on this because we're not stretching. You're going to hold the band longer toward the ends of the band and then bring your elbows to the mat. So just a little teeny bit of tension because this is not a stretch. Now try to straighten your leg, the leg that's in the band. And then I want you to get into your neutral. So that means if you pull the leg towards you and tuck, no, we do not want that position. We want neutral, which means your leg might have to move away from you to get the tailbone down and lengthen your pubic bone away from your navel so you're in neutral pelvis here. And I would rather have you work there because this is not a stretch, right? This is an exercise in Pilates we call leg circles. Now, the bottom leg ideally is straight on the mat. If it's hard for you to maintain neutral pelvis and stability, you can bend it ever so slightly, but just don't bring it in close or it gets in the way, okay? Because we're gonna be doing a tiny circle with this top leg. So imagine you're drawing a circle on the ceiling with your heel, and it's a small circle. The goal and object of this exercise is not to wobble the pelvis side to side when you do the leg circle. So how do you not wobble? Tighten your belly, saran wrap across, keep your neutral pelvis level like that bowl of water. The water is not sloshing side to side. It's nice and level, so I have to use my abdominals to do that. And then your bottom leg is also helping anchor you. All right, so either have the leg a little bit away from you like I'm doing to make sure your tailbone's down. If you can go a little higher but not tuck, okay, but I don't care where your leg is. I just care that you're in neutral. And then the bottom leg is either straight or slightly bent. All right, now make sure your shoulders are down and that you're not arching your ribs at all. Then start the top leg across your center body a little bit and a small circle to pause at the top. We always put a little period on the circle each time, so it pauses at the top for a second. All right, cross, inhale, circle, exhale, up 1. Cross, inhale, small circle, exhale, up 2. Remember, no wobbles in the pelvis. Exhale, up 3. Cross, inhale, circle, exhale, up 4. Cross, inhale, circle, exhale, up 5. You always put that little period at the top, up and hold 6. Inhale, keep it small, up 7. No pelvic wobbles. Exhale, up 8. And exhale, up 9. Last one, up 10. Now we're going to reverse direction. Keep it small. You go away from your center body just a little to the side, a small down around circle to pause at the top in whatever position you keep your neutral pelvis. Here we go. Inhale, exhale, up 1. Inhale, no pelvic wobble, up 2. Inhale, exhale, up 3. Inhale, exhale, up 4. Quiet pelvis, exhale, up 5. In through the nose, out through the mouth, up. Inhale, exhale, 7. Inhale, exhale, 8. Inhale, exhale, 1 more. Inhale, exhale, pause. All right, let's bring the bottom foot in first. It's a quick way to change without a lot of rigmarole. So slip the foot in, take the other one out. Now find your position. Check. First you go into neutral pelvis. That determines where your leg goes. And then try to straighten it. Elbows down. Bottom leg either straight or ever so slightly bent. Check your back ribs down, your tailbone down, your belly tight. And now you start across the body first with a small circle. Inhale, exhale, up, pause. Inhale, exhale, up 2. Inhale, exhale, no pelvic wobble. Inhale, braced abdominals, up. Inhale, exhale, 5. Smooth and fluid, exhale, 6. Inhale, exhale, 7. Exhale, 8. 2 more. 9. Last one. Pause at the top, 10. Reverse, out a little, down, around, across, and up. Anchoring the tailbone, exhale, and 2. Inhale smoothly like you're underwater. Inhale, exhale, and 4. Inhale, exhale, and 5. I love leg circles. Exhale, and 6. Inhale, exhale, and 7. Inhale, exhale, and 8. Inhale, exhale, and 9. Last one. Inhale, exhale, 10. Bend both knees, release your tension, remove your band to the side, and just rub your hands out a little to release any tension there. All right, now hug both knees into the chest just to give your back a little stretch. And just rock a little. And I like to grab behind the back legs, not on top of the knees. I don't like to push on the knee and over push the crease of that knee. So I like to grab behind. And then just a little rock side to side. Just ease out your back. We're going to do a prep for the next exercise called rolling like a ball. And that's a Pilates exercise. So let's just learn the prep today. So you're going to face on your mat where you were, but seated, and move a little forward on your mat so most of your mat is behind you. And just move your little towel out of the way. Now, we're not going to actually do much. We might try one roll today. So normally you want a little space behind us. This is called rolling like a ball. So first thing we have to do is get into a ball shape. And a ball is round. So what we're going to do is take our back legs and bring them in close and C-curve our spine. So you know how normally we're neutral. We're going to C-curve, scoop out, and round into that high capital C. Then bring your legs in close and deepen your abdominals. And then you can either grab your front shins to pull in even more or your back legs, whichever feels best. You want to get them in as close as you can to make yourself in a ball shape. The shoulders are down, however, try not to hunch. And the chin just gently down. Don't jam it onto your chest, but just nod it down. So you're looking towards your belly. Then you should be a little behind your sitting bones, because if you're rounded like this with your legs close, you need to be a little behind your sit bones. So if I'm right on top of them, I can't really round in the way I need to. Now, once you're behind, you'll find that little spot where you can balance, and you hover your feet just off the mat and find that balance point. See if you can hold it. And let's take deep breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, put the feet down. Now, I want you to watch first. I'm going to show you the rolling so you can see the visual of what it should look like. You're going to keep that really tight ball shape, and we start in that balance point. When we roll back and forward, we keep our tight ball shape, and we come back to the balance point. We don't put our feet down in between. Now, a thing you want to watch when I do it is I do not let my head flop back. I never look at the ceiling, and I'm trying to keep this ball shape throughout the roll, and I'm focusing on pulling my legs toward me throughout and trying not to open up. If I look at the ceiling, I'm going to drop my head back a little bit, so I don't want to do that. So watch, I'm only going to roll to the upper mid-back shelf. I'm never going to roll onto my neck or my head. So watch when I do it and you'll see that. So I start my balance and I roll inhale, exhale, hold the balance. Inhale, exhale, hold the balance. So I'm keeping that tight shape and I'm looking down and I'm trying not to roll too far. So I'm not using momentum. So I'm initiating by deepening my abdominals and leading from the tailbone area to deepen the curve to roll. So don't swing yourself back and swing yourself forward. Try to use your abdominals as your focus. All right, let's try it. First, just pull into your ball shape. Then you can either behind the legs or in front. Then once you're there, draw the shoulders down and try to find that balance point. Now keep your chin towards your chest, keep looking down, and roll through your spine. Inhale, roll forward by pulling your legs in closer to you when you roll forward so they don't open up, and keep your focus down. Just try it again. Inhale, exhale. Rolling's a lot harder than it looks, okay? Inhale, exhale, hold. One more. Inhale, exhale, hold. And feet down and rest. Now let me just remind you, a lot of Pilates exercises take time to master. This one you'd think looks easy, it's not. And especially if you have any back issues. If you have tightness in your back, you might have some locked areas in your back, then it's really hard to roll when you first start learning it. But as you continue practicing your rolling, it will help open up your spine and articulate your spine. Be sure you're always rolling with a cushioned surface, carpeted floor, or stack up a bunch of towels and have a mat, a yoga mat, or a thicker mat if possible. And that way you don't have to worry. You don't want to roll on a hardwood floor. So just be careful of that. All right, let's go now to an exercise called single leg stretch. This is a Pilates abdominal exercise. And we're going to roll back down on our back, and we can use that head support. Now, we've already learned how to do the leg levitations, and that's the tabletop position I taught you earlier is the position we start in. So I always cue you into the starting position. We don't just randomly get there. Everything in Pilates is done with focus and attention and mindfulness. And we always are very careful about putting ourselves in the positions as well. So first you get in your neutral, embrace those abdominals, and then you slowly, here's that leg levitation I taught you. You lift one leg tabletop, check you didn't tuck, lift the other leg to join, bring the legs together. Now we place the hands on top of the knees. Now we're going to do an ab curl, keeping the legs in this position, don't tuck. Inhale, nod the chin, ab curl to look forward and stay there. Now stretch your left leg on the high diagonal with both hands to the top right knee, keeping that shin parallel to the ceiling. Simultaneously switch the legs and hand to the left knee, but maintain your ab curl and try not to wobble your torso at all. Keep it stationary, and only your legs are moving. Your ab curl position is stationary. You're not rocking or twisting. You're just staying straight on in your ab curl. You're just switching your legs as your hands go to each bent knee. And it's that's that 90-90 tabletop position. We're not pulling it real close to us. No, we're stopping in the tabletop so we don't tuck. Last one, and then lower the chest and hug in. Now you might say, well, gee, I can't hold my chest up that long in ab curl. Then put your head down and rest it, but continue the legs. So in other words, I might start here and then I go, ooh, my neck is fatiguing. I can put my head down, continue my legs, and then lift again when I've had a little break. Okay? Let's do it one more time just to kind of cement what we're doing. So let's cue into it. So first, get in your neutral, brace your abdominals. One leg lifts tabletop, other joints hands together, hands on the knees with legs together. Check your neutral, brace and lengthen the tailbone, and lengthen the pubic bone away from the navel. Ab curl, inhale, nod, ab curl. Check your position, extend your left leg, hands to the right knee. Simultaneous switch, exhale, switch. Look at your legs, not the ceiling. And switch, don't let your head fall back. Switch, and switch, one more, each side, and then bend both knees, grab behind, lower the chest, hug in, rock a little side to side in your pelvis, and then rock your head a little side to side. And that's called single leg stretch. Makes sense, one leg stretching at a time, okay? The next exercise is just a prep for the double leg stretch. We're not going to do the full version, we're just going to do a preparation. So, back to your neutral, one at a time, lift the legs tabletop and grab behind the back legs, but don't pull them in. Just keep your tabletop and lightly touch. And we're going to ab curl. Inhale, nod, ab curl, check tailbone down. Now straighten the legs to the Pilates V. Remember that V we did in our standing warm-up? That's what your legs are doing. So they're in that little Pilates V. All right, and then when you're holding on a little bit here to help you, then you bend the legs to tabletop as you lower back down. All right, so all we're gonna do is ab curl, straightening the legs to Pilates V, and then hold a second and then lower as we bend the legs. All right, so tabletop, legs touch behind lightly. Don't pull, just touch. Inhale, nod the chin. As you ab curl, straighten the legs to Pilates V. Look at your legs, check your tailbone down. Hold, inhale, bend the legs as you lower the chest, exhale. Inhale, nod. Ab curl, straighten the legs to Pilates V, heels together, and hold. Inhale, and lower, exhale. One more time, inhale, nod, sink, lift, and exhale, stretch. Hold, inhale, and lower, hug the knees in. Roll to your side. Okay, we've done quite a bit of abdominals. Let's do some other things now. I taught you this last time. We're doing that 4-point kneel. And remember I said you can, if you have wrist issues, you can use a rolled towel to put under the heel of your hand, or you can take, if you have a yoga mat, roll one end of it, and then use that edge to put the heel of the hand on, and you can roll it as much as you need to. So if you need to modify, you'll do that. Otherwise, we're in a 4-point position with on your hands and knees. That means your knees are a fist apart. Your hands are right under the crease of your armpit with your hands about shoulder width apart. So now your spine makes the table part of the tabletop. So you're in a flat back neutral spine. Your belly is lifted so you're not sagging your belly toward the floor. It's lifted. So you're neutral but supported. And then your breastbone, you have to be careful you don't sag into your shoulders. So you want your breastbone to lift away from the mat, and your head should be in line with your spine. It's real easy. If you look straight down towards your hands, watch what happens. It drops my head when I look down at between my hands. So look about 2 feet in front of your hands, and then push the breastbone away from the mat, and that should get your head up in line with your spine, and then you don't have that strain on your neck. Then your shins are bonded to the mat, your top feet are down. Now, your tailbone is aiming to the wall behind you because you're in neutral. We're going to move in and out of neutral doing cat stretch. You round your back toward the ceiling in the rounded C curve. Let the head come down and keep your arms straight. And that's your cat stretch. And then lengthen out in both directions and return to that neutral, checking that you do all those little things I cued. Breastbone lifted, head in line, all that stuff. All right, exhale, cat stretch. Inhale, lengthen to neutral. Exhale, cat stretch. Head goes down. Both your tailbone and your head lengthen in opposite directions, and you find that neutral. Now round your back one more time and sit back to the rest position with your hips towards your heels. Drop your forehead toward the mat and stretch your arms forward. Take a deep breath. Now, if this bothers your knees, put your toes together and open your knees apart, and then sit back. And if that still bothers, put a towel under the back of your legs to give you a little support there so you don't have to sit all the way back. All right, take a deep breath and roll back up and find that 4-point again. We're going to do another exercise here. So find your 4-point kneel again. Check your positioning. Want a good neutral spine. Belly active. Head up in line looking forward of your hands. This is flying table. You're going to take your right leg and your opposite left arm and slide them smoothly away from each other and lift in line with your spine without wobbling, which means you've got to concentrate and move slowly with control and use your abdominals to support you. And we're breathing as we hold this. Keep breathing. And then without wobbling and without tipping, slowly return with no perceptible shifting if you can help it, and return to 4-point kneel. Other side, right arm, left leg slides out in opposition. Hold and breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly return without wobbling. No perceptible shifting. Return. Cat stretch again. Round it. Then flatten it. Now we're going to tuck the toes under. Keeping your flat back neutral, just hover your knees 1 or 2 inches. See how I'm not sticking my butt up? I'm in a flat back neutral still, but I'm hovered. Oh yeah, we're feeling it. And put the knees back down. One more time. Shoulders down, lift the belly, but keep your neutral. Don't tuck, don't round. Tailbone to the wall behind. Now just hover your knees 1 or 2 inches. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees down, untuck the toes, round, and sit back to rest position. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. And roll up. All right, good job. Now, we're going to sit and extend your legs in front of you and open them apart the width of your mat. So that's just a little wider than shoulder width. You're going to flex your feet. Now, if my legs are straight, ideally, but I cannot get up in my neutral, then I would prefer you to bend your knees slightly. Still keep your heels on the mat. See, I went from here. If I'm kind of slumped back like this because I'm tight, then what I do so I can get on my sit bones is I just bend my knees a little and I can rock up on my sit bones and get into my neutral pelvis and spine. I want that, not this hunker, right? So that's important. It's not about trying to do what I'm doing. It's about doing it in the position where you can be in the right neutral position to start, okay? So I'm going to do my bend so we can all do that. So I start straight first, and if I can't get up like this, I'm going to go ahead and just soften my knees but keep my heels planted. So my feet are flexed, the toes pulled back, my heels are planted. Then what I do is I just bend my knees a little and I rock on my sit bones and I lift up. Then you're going to take your hands on your legs with the arms straight. You're up against your wall, and you're going to do that little rollover prep thing that we did at the beginning of class in the warm-up. It's that candy cane hook that we did with the roll down that we did in our seated warm-up. So we're going to do it here, but we'll slide our arms on our legs. We inhale against our wall behind us. We nod up and over candy cane hook. We slide forward with the arms as we curve up and over a ball in front of us. So we're not hinging forward in a flat back. We're doing an up over candy cane hook, and we're rolling forward, and our arms slide out with the arms straight. Grab your ankles. Now pull your belly away from your feet. Feel that little connection. Then roll back up bone by bone against your wall and stack up to neutral against your wall. Inhale. Nod up and over candy cane hook. Roll in that C curve in the spine stretch forward. We call this spine stretch, and slide the arms along the legs. Grab on, pull the belly away from the feet, and then roll up against your wall, drawing the shoulders down. The head is the last thing to come back up, just like we did earlier. And find your wall with your spine. One more. Inhale, up and over curve, roll forward, and grab on. Inhale, and exhale to roll up. Okay, shake your legs out a little. And now we're going to do just a quick little side lying exercise. So when we do side lying in Pilates, just like everything else, the positioning is 90% of it. If you're not in a good position, you're not going to be helping yourself to improve your body conditioning. And so I want you to use that little head support in this. You're going to face me and lay on your right side. I'll be your mirror. And we're going to stretch out in a straight line from head to toe. So I'm going to stretch out and extend my bottom arm so that I'm right on my side pelvis. Now this can be a little uncomfortable, especially for us women, because we have wider hip bones. So what you want to do, if you find it uncomfortable, you might get a couple of towels and just stretch them out under you to give you more cushioning if you're on a floor, if you don't feel like you have enough cushioning. So in other words, you need to be stacked. I don't want you to rock back. So if it's uncomfortable and you feel like, oh, I got to rock back, then you're defeating the purpose. So you want to get right on your side pelvis. So put a couple of towels under there, but not bunched up, just lengthened up. Like take your towels and lengthen them and lay on them, and that will give you that little bit of cushioning. But then I like you to use your folded head towel between your bottom arm and your head, so as to have your head supported in a better position here. So I just have that little bit of support there. Bottom arm is extended, palm toward the ceiling. Kickstand your front, your top, which will be your left hand, close to your body. Now, your legs are together, parallel. Ankles together, knees straight, top pelvic bone, the two front pelvic bones are stacked one on top of the other, and they're in line with your pubic bone. So we're in neutral pelvis on our side. Then your top shoulder draws down, and then your legs should be lined up with the front side of your pelvis. What I mean is, don't let your feet be behind you. That will put strain on your low back. So make sure as you look down, if you can't see your feet, they're too far back. Bring them so they're in front. Not in a diagonal forward yet, but just lined up with the front side of your pelvis here, not behind you. Now, that way if you glance down, you can see them. Then once you've checked they're there, look back straight out to the front. We don't want our head to be torqued and looking down like this the whole time. So get it back in position. Now, we're going to lift slightly under your bottom waist just to make sure you're not sagging in those bottom ribs. Then, ankles together here with the knees straight, and the legs are already active. So you can feel that they're working a little bit to help you stabilize. Now take your top leg parallel just to hip bone height. Don't go up here way high, just to your hip bone height. And then bring the bottom leg to it. Yes, working obliques, and both down. So you're going to work these side obliques. Top leg to hip bone height only. So very small lift. Bottom leg squeezes up to it. Ankles together, legs straight, and both slowly down with control. Don't just plop. Top leg inhale, bottom leg to it, exhale, both come down. Top leg inhale, squeeze up, exhale, both legs down. Top leg inhale, bottom leg squeeze up, both down. One more, top leg inhale, bottom leg squeeze up, both down. Now keep your legs together like they're rubber banded together from your ankles to your hips. Now both legs squeeze up as a unit. Hold it and both slowly down. Squeeze up without rocking forward or back. Stay nice and stable. Exhale, lift. Working abdominals to stabilize and lower. Keep your ankles together. Now, if you're hyperextended or you have trouble keeping your ankles together, you can put a little towel between your ankles, and that gives you something to press against because you kind of need that connection. So if you find you can't get your ankles together, you might need to put a little towel between your ankle bones. Exhale, lift and lower. Last one, lift and stay. Now your bottom leg, your top leg stays where it is. Your bottom leg goes down and back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold 8 and lower down. Now bend both legs to a 90-90 chair position. So you have your shins parallel to the edge of your mat, your feet and knees together, and your knees are bent at a right angle across from your hip socket, that crease right there. All right, so they're not pulled in close. They're at that little 90-90 position. Stack your hip bones, though. Don't rock forward your top hip bone over your bottom hip bone. Now take your top leg straight out in line with your hip bone, parallel, and flex that top foot. You're going to go up 2 inches and back where you started, right at hip bone height. Now, don't go way up here and turn out and all that junk. No, it's a tiny movement. 2 inches up parallel, 2 inches down, just to hip bone height. Don't go to the floor. Up, down. Inhale, exhale. Lift. Very controlled. I'm not moving anything but that one leg. Nothing else moving. Abdominals braced. 2 more, up and up. Now keep the foot flexed. Take the leg forward just about across from your hip socket and back to straight out. Forward and to straight out. Forward, straight out. Forward, straight out. Hold, point the foot, bend the knee, lay it on top of the other leg, push to sit, grab your little head support, swing your legs around to the other side. And we're going to do everything we just did on the other side. Stretch out onto your left side. Bottom arm extended, palm up to the ceiling. Put your head support between your head and arm. Now, pelvis is neutral, in line with your shoulders. Then extend your legs out together. And then just bend the bottom leg to that 90-90 with the top leg parallel at hip bone height. And then kickstand your top right hand at the floor close to you with the shoulder down. Flex the top foot. Let's do the legs together first. I want to go in the same order I did it before. Okay, so we're going to take the top leg to hip height with a pointed foot. The bottom leg squeezes to it, and they both come down together. Top leg inhale. Bottom leg, exhale to it. Hold it a second and slowly lower. Don't plop down, control down. Up, inhale. Bottom leg, exhale together and both down. Top leg, inhale. Bottom leg squeezes up and lower both. One more. Top leg. Bottom leg squeezes to it and both down. Now keep your legs together and squeeze it up and lower down. So you're feeling that in your side oblique. Squeeze it up, trying to keep those ankles together and lower. Exhale, lift and lower. Squeeze it up. And last time, exhale, stay. Bottom leg goes down and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, hold, lower, and now bend the legs. Okay, 90-90, stretch the top leg out. This shin is parallel to the edge of your mat. You want the leg parallel. You want that long waist, point, and then flex the foot. And we're going to go up 2 inches, down 2 inches. Inhale, exhale. You might be feeling it already because we're working both sides even when we're laying on one side. So you've already worked this side a little bit. And so it might fatigue a little quickly, but try to keep breathing. Try to keep going without moving anything but the leg. So I'm not moving anything in the torso area, just the leg. Now last one here. Now you're going to go forward without moving your pelvis and back to straight out where you started. You just come forward, and I don't go so far that I tuck or move my pelvis. Just the leg hinging right at this crease here. Hinge forward and back to straight out in line. Forward. This is the prep for side kick. And forward and back and forward and back. One more, and forward and straight out. Hold and point the foot, bend the knee, and lay it on top of the bottom leg. All right, let's push back to sit. Okay, we're going to grab our, we're going to finish off with some stretches. So we're going to grab your TheraBand if you have a TheraBand. And if you don't, you'll use that long twisted towel. And then we're going to first roll on your side and onto your back. You can use your head support under the back of the skull. Go into your neutral spine and pelvis. Now, in stretching, we still are going to focus on some of the stretch positions we do in a neutral pelvis. And so I'll tell you when we do. And that's what we're going to do first. We're going to do a hamstring stretch, but to get the hamstring stretch so it goes all the way up to the insertion of the hamstring on the sitting bones, we want to make sure we don't tuck. So I don't care how high your leg goes. I care that you stay in neutral pelvis. So take your band or towel, hook it over this middle or sole of your arch, or the arch area of your bottom foot of your right leg. You're going to choke. If you have the band, you're going to choke up a little bit, then pull the elbows to the mat to anchor. Now, if you have the towel, you might not be able to get your elbows to the mat. That's okay. Now, draw the tailbone down. See how my leg moved away from me a little bit? Yes, because it's not important how high I go. It's important that I'm in neutral. So if I tuck and pull my leg up, that's not what I want. I want the tailbone down, and you go where the tailbone can be down, in the neutral pelvis. Then straighten the leg and get that tension, and that's where you stretch. And the bottom leg can be either straight or just ever so slightly bent. And then we're going to hold and breathe. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through parted lips, through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Keeping the foot on the ceiling, small bend. Inhale. Press into the band. Exhale. Bend it. Inhale. Stretch it and hold. Now keep the legs straight and just rotate the bottom of your foot inward. So the sole of your foot faces in towards your center body. And then you'll feel the stretch on the outside of the lower leg, the peroneal muscles. And so all I'm doing is keeping the legs straight and just rotating the bottom of my foot inward. Yes, it can feel intense. And then if you can, keep the foot turned inward and take the leg ever so slightly across the body. Not so far you rock your pelvis off the mat. And then hold there to feel that stretch more up the outside of the leg. Deep breathing. Bring the leg back to straight up and return the foot to normal. And check your pelvis is neutral again, and then take a small bend and stretch, and then keep the leg straight and open to the side diagonal. This is stretching the inner leg or inner thigh muscle. Try not to rock your pelvis toward the open leg. Keep it anchored on the mat in neutral. Deep breath. And then return to straight up. And bring your bottom foot in first. Carefully replace and switch out. And then find your stretch position with the tailbone anchored neutral pelvis. Hold and breathe. Inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale. Now keep the foot on the ceiling. Take a small bend and stretch and bend and stretch and hold, and then keep that straight leg as you just rotate the sole of your foot inward towards your center body, feeling that stretch on the outside of the lower leg, keeping that foot turned inward. Also take the leg just ever so slightly across the body. Hold and breathe. Come back to straight up foot to normal. Take another little bend. Keep your tailbone anchored. And stretch and hold. And then open to that little side diagonal for inner thigh stretch. Careful the pelvis stays anchored on the mat in level neutral. And return up. Take one more breath here. Softly bend the knees and release your band to the side. Rub your hands out to release any tension there. Lotion them up a little. Just imagine that. Shake them out a little. All right, and then you're going to pick up your right leg and cross the ankle over the left thigh and open that right knee a little to the side. Then you're going to thread your right hand through the middle, your left around the outside to grab the back of the left leg, pull it towards you, and then press with your right elbow to just press open that right leg a little more. And this is your thread the needle stretch for the hips. So we just worked those hips in the sideline work, and so we're stretching those now. So you might feel it. And right now you're feeling it on the back side of your right hip. Hold and breathe. If you rock too far to the side that you have of the leg that you have crossed, you won't feel the stretch if you rock over to one side more than the other. So center your pelvis and then pull it towards you. And then press the thigh open. Then you should feel it. And then switch. You're going to cross your left over your right, opening the knee. Now your left hand comes through the middle to grab your right back leg, and your right hand comes around the outside. Then you pull it towards you, making sure you're not rocking to one side more than the other. And then you pull that towards you, and then you just use your left elbow to press gently outward on the left thigh, and you'll feel that stretch right in the back side of the hip area here. Deep breaths. Uncross that left, but keep your right leg in and pull it close to your chest. And you can go ahead and tuck your tailbone a little to get it there. Then slide your left leg out straight on the mat. And this is a good low back stretch. And it also stretches a little bit in the front hip flexor. And so we just hold and breathe for a couple of breaths. Then bring the bottom leg in, grab behind that back left leg, put the other foot down. Now hug that left leg close, even if you tuck. It's okay, curl your tailbone to get that knee in close to your chest. Keep it there and slide the other leg out straight. Feel that opposition and sink your back waist. Hug both legs in. Once again, rock a little side to side, and then roll onto your side. Ease yourself to sit. Grab your sitting pads. Either your stacked books or a little lift there for you. And then go into your tailor sit, and we're going to finish off here. So lift tall, lift your side waist, find that neutral. Notice how you feel compared to the beginning of class. You might have felt some changes already. Fingertips to the side. Let's take a lateral stretch. Reach up, inhale, lateral bend, exhale. Hold reaching, inhale, lift from your bottom waist to center. Inhale, vertical, exhale, lateral bend, hold, inhale, and lift up and center. Interlace your fingers behind and press straight down and wrap those shoulders back and down. So I'm just getting a nice stretch through the chest and shoulders. And then if you want, you can lift a little to the back to get a little more stretch if you feel that feels good and doesn't bother your shoulder. Take a breath. And then around to the front, interlace. And as you push forward, you curve your spine away from your arms. C-curve. Feel that little back stretch. Then come back on your sit bones and lengthen tall. And then press the palms forward and stretch through the edges of the arms. And then up. Good. And then reach out to the fingertips to the mat. And lift nice and tall and stay in your elongated neutral. And just tip your ear to the right shoulder. Deep breath. And then to the left. Keep your face forward. Don't turn your head. And center. Inhale. Press out, exhale. One more breath, inhale. Float your hands to your thighs, exhale. And hopefully you feel good. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.